Everyone, myself Professor Sagar Choksi from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. So in previous session, we have started a new chapter that related to sensor, right, and different types of sensor. So in today's session, we are going to discuss a new concept that related to actuator and types of actuator. So first one, that is a stepper motor operated valve. So here you can find out first portion in first left side you can find out stepper motor, air valve, and second one, that is connector, right? So figure shows the step motor with the air valve attached. Second one, that is the multiple pin connection, is typical of the type of connection that is used to electrically connect the stepper motor to the ECU, right? And last one, that is what is the objective of stepper motor operated valve. So the stepper motor can normally be checked by operating it with the diagnostic tool connected to the serial communication port of the ECM, right? So this is what the concept of stepper motor operated valve. So move forward to next slide. So here second one, that is so next one, that is EGR valve actuator. So first of all, what is EGR? So the exhaust gas recirculation is known as capital EGR, is utilized to reduce NOx emission. So here in image you can find out there is one engine or four stopper. You can find out over there is one intake manifold, as we all know, and over there there is one EGR valve placed, right? So as the name suggests, the EGR, exhaust gas recirculation, is utilized to reduce the NOx emission. Because ultimately environmental pollution is play a very important role, right? Right now we are focusing on electrical vehicle, but if we reduce the NOx emission, which is very helpful to the helpful to our environment. Right. So second one, that is the amount of EGR is regulated with the or by the engine controller. Third one, that is when the correct amount of EGR, when the correct amount of exhaust gas recirculation has been determined by the controller based on the measurement from the various engine control sensor, the controller sends an electrical signal to the EGR actuator. So this is what the concept of EGR valve actuator, right? When the correct amount of EGR, exhaust gas recirculation, has been determined by the controller based on various measurement, right, from the various engine control sensor. The controller sends an electrical signal to EGR actuator. So this is what the concept of EGR valve actuator. So move forward to next slide. So basically how it can be helpful. So here you can find out in image, first one in left side you can find out to intake manifold, right? Intake, there is one intake manifold. In medium part you can find out the exhaust gas, and right part you can find out the EGR valve closed, right? There is one solenoid, as I discussed earlier. What is solenoid, right? So EGR valve actuator, how it can be helpful or how it can work. So first of all, typically this actuator is a variable position valve that regulate the EGR as a function of intake manifold pressure and exhaust gas pressure. Second one, that is the example of EGR actuator, is shown in this particular figure. And third one, that is this actuator is a vacuum operated diaphragm valve with a spring. Here you can find out in upper portion you can find out a spring that hold the valve closed if no vacuum is applied. So this is what the construction of EGR valve actuator. Move forward to next slide. So how it works, right? How EGR valve work, right? So the vacuum that operates the diaphragm is supplied by the intake, is controlled by a solenoid operated valve. In right side you can find out solenoid operated valve, right? So the vacuum that operates the diaphragm is supplied by the intake manifold and is controlled by a solenoid operated valve. So this solenoid valve is controlled by the output of a control system. Whenever the solenoid is energized, or you can find out whenever the solenoid is getting current supply by the control system flowing through the coil, the EGR valve is opened by the applied vacuum. So this is what the fundamental of EGR valve actuator, right? So move forward to next slide. So next one, that is fuel injector, or you can find out fuel injector actuator. So basically there are two concepts over here. In first image you can find out the block diagram of fuel injector actuator, and second image you can find out the actual working or actual spare part of fuel injector actuator. Right side you can find out plunger, valve spring, solenoid, spray, or you can find out nozzle and fuel filter. Right. So basically, what is fuel injector actuator? So a fuel injector is a solenoid operated valve. First of all, second one, that is this valve open or close to permit or block fuel flow to the engine. And third one, that is consider an idealized fuel injector as shown in block diagram. So in which the injector is open when the applied voltage is on and is closed when the applied voltage is off. So this is what the concept of fuel injector actuator, right? Basically consider an idealized fuel injector as shown in particular figure, in which the injector is open when the voltage is on, and when the voltage is off, it is closed, right? So this is what a concept of fuel injector actuator. So move forward to next slide. We can talk about the working of fuel injector actuator. So a solenoid has a movable element in the form of a pintle. As you can see in first image you can find out downward portion, and that is called pintle with a conical tip. As you can see, find out the conical tip that fits into a conical section forming the nozzle. In image you can find out when the voltage is on, right? So the solenoid works, and all the working has been started. So a solenoid has a movable element in the form of pintle with a conical tip that fits into a conical section, and it forms a nozzle, as you can see in image. So now we can talk about the holding. So a spring hold the pintle such that the nozzle is closed. Behind this nozzle is a small fuel filled chamber holding the fuel under pressure that is supplied by a tube. So it is known as a fuel rail. So what is fuel rail? As you can see in image, upper portion, as you can find out the upper portion, there is one C section type, right? So a spring hold the pintle, a spring that hold the pintle such that the nozzle is closed. Behind this nozzle, it is a small fuel filled chamber holding the fuel under pressure that is supplied by a tube that is called fuel rail. So this is what the function or different element that related to fuel injector actuator. This is what the construction and working of fuel injector actuator, right? So third portion, when the voltage control over there, when you can regulate the voltage, so what will happen? So now we can talk about the voltage generation, or you can find out when we control the voltage, what will happen, right? So first of all, with no control voltage applied and no current flowing, the spring hold the pintle in a closed position, such that no fuel flow through the nozzle, right? And second one is with voltage of sufficient amplitude applied, the solenoid pulls the pintle out of its seat and fuel flow through the nozzle into an intact system. So this is what the concept of fuel injection for fuel injector actuator with voltage regulation or no voltage regulation. So this is what the concept of fuel injector actuator. So basically here I have attached one image that related to sensor, right? So here you can see that automobile sensor are one kind of intelligent sensor which can be used to control and process the pressure of oil in you can say in engine. You can find out the pressure of oil, temperature, level of emission, coolant level. These all are related to your sensor purposes. Second one, that is there are different types of sensor used in automobile, but knowing the working of this sensor is essential. So basically there are two types of sensor we can use. First one that related to your engine performance, and second one that related to your safety purpose. As we can we know that there are mainly two types of safety: active safety and passive safety. So thank you so much. In this particular session, we have completed actuator and its types, right? So thank you so much.